The key components of the circuits are 12-volt battery, isolator switch, pre-fuse box, ignition switch, ignition relay, main fuse box, instrument cluster 1, air pressure sensor 01, air pressure sensor 02, fuel sensor, alternator, instrument cluster 2, cab latch switch, air filter block switch, park lamp, turn left lamp, turn right lamp, high beam telltale, reverse switch, instrument cluster 3, DPF inhibit, DPF regeneration, pre-fuse pigtail to front chassis, A2 pole, front chassis to main wiring harness, A2 pole, main to front chassis 36 pole, EDC chassis engine EDC 62 pole, EDC chassis EDC cab 36 pole, main to EDC cab, B23 pole, main to cab roof pigtail 6 pole. Pre-fuse box consists of two fuses, PFB2 with rating 40 amps and PFB3 with rating 40 amps. Main fuse box consists of three fuses, F20 with rating 5 amps, F27 with rating 5 amps and F07 with rating 5 amps. The components are grounded via earthing points as mentioned below. 12-volt battery negative terminal black color wire is connected to the battery ground. Ignition relay terminal pin 85 black wire is grounded in inductive cabin ground. Air pressure sensor 01, air pressure sensor 02, pin number 2, black wire connect to instrument cluster pin number 12, 5-volt ground. Fuel sensor pin number 2, black white wire is connected instrument cluster sensor ground, pin number 3. Air filter block switch, pin number 1 and cab latch switch pin number 2, black wire grounded in the signal ground. DPF inhibit, DPF regeneration, park light, turn left, turn right and high beam telltale were internally grounded. When the ignition switch is at switch off position, the 12-volt battery supply the voltage red wire to isolator switch pin number 1. Once isolator switch engages, the voltage supplies from isolator pin number 1 to isolator switch pin number 2. The 12-volt supplies from isolator pin number 2 passes through pre-fuse box PFB2 and PFB3 with rating 40 amps. From fuse PFB02 with rating 40 amps, the red wire splits into two. One line passes to ignition relay terminal pin 30, another line passes to ignition switch B positive. From fuse PFB03 with rating 40 amps, the red wire passes to main fuse box F07 with rating 5 amps to the instrument cluster 1, pin number 1 battery supply. Instrument cluster 1, supply 5-volt orange lime wire connected to air pressure sensor 01 and air pressure sensor 02, pin number 1. When the ignition switch is turned to ignition on position. When ignition switch is on condition, the input supply, supplied from pin number 1 red-yellow wire splits into two lines. One line passes to main fuse box fuse F27 with rating 5 amps to instrument cluster 1, pin number 2 ignition supply, another line passes to ignition relay terminal pin 86. The relay get engages the 12-volt supplies from terminal pin 30, red wire to terminal pin 87, red, yellow wire passes to main fuse box, fuse F20 with rating 5 amps. From fuse F20 with rating 5 amps, violet yellow wire passes to reverse switch pin number 1 through 36-pole interconnector. When reverse switch engages, the 12-volt supplies from pin number 1 to the pin number 2 to instrument cluster 2 pin number 15. Once instrument cluster get ground supply, fuel sensor from instrument cluster 1, pin number 3 black-white wire to fuel sensor pin number 2, through interconnectors. Instrument cluster 1 received the signal from fuel sensor pin number 1, black-white wire to instrument cluster 2 pin number 19. Air pressure sensor 1 and 2 by activating ground from instrument cluster 1 pin number 12, black wire to air pressure sensor 1 and 2, pin number 2. Air pressure sensor 01 pin number 3, brown red send the signal to instrument cluster 1 pin number 4, pressure gauge 1. Air pressure sensor 02 pin number 3, red brown send the signal to instrument cluster 1 pin number 5, pressure gauge 2. Once vehicle start, all instrument cluster telltales will glow. Park lamp, turn left,
turn right, high beam telltale, DPF regeneration and DPF inhibit.
Instrument cluster supply voltage contact switch for cab latch from instrument cluster to pin number 3, lime blue wire to cab latch switch pin number 1 through 8 pole interconnector. Instrument cluster supply voltage to air filter block switch from instrument cluster to pin number 5, brown wire to air filter block switch pin number 2 through 8 pole interconnector.
CAN lines for instrument cluster pin number 6, CAN high, and pin number 7, CAN low, connected to CAN network.